Donald Trump's criminal trial. Trump's former fixer Michael Cohen taking the stand for a second day of testimony. On day one, he told the jury that Trump directed him to make the hush money payment to Stormy Daniels. That at the center of the case. Aaron Katersky is at the courthouse. Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning, George. Michael Cohen brought Donald Trump closer than any witness yet to the alleged scheme to protect his political fortunes and obscure his role in covering up stories about sex.
From the moment he heard Stormy Daniels was shopping a story about a long-denied sexual tryst with Donald Trump, Michael Cohen said he knew it would be catastrophic for the 2016 campaign. He said Trump knew it too. "Women will hate me," Cohen recalled Trump saying. "Guys may think it's cool, but this is going to be a disaster for the campaign." The Access Hollywood tape had already become public. Trump heard boasting of groping women.
When you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Cohen testified Trump told him to spin it, and the spin that he wanted to put on it was that this is locker room talk, something that Melania had recommended. Seated at the defense table, Trump appeared to make a face when he heard that, one of his few reactions to Cohen's testimony. For much of it, Trump shut his eyes in seeming disinterest. Cohen recalled asking how Melania Trump was taking the news about Stormy Daniels, and Cohen recalled Trump saying, "Don't worry, how long do you think I will be on the market for? Not long." Prosecutor Susan Hoffinger asked, "What did you understand that to mean?" Cohen responded, he wasn't thinking about Melania. This was all about the campaign. When it became evident Daniels was prepared to go public, Cohen said Trump instructed him to pay her off. "Just do it," Cohen recalled Trump telling him. "Don't worry about it. You will get the money back." But before he wired the money, Cohen said he called Trump again. The jury saw a record of the calls. "I wanted to ensure that once again he approved what I was doing because I required approval from him on all of this," Cohen said. "Everything required Mr. Trump's sign-off. On top of that, I wanted the money back." After the election, Cohen said Trump signed off on a monthly reimbursement schedule. He approved it, Cohen said. It was just before the inauguration, and Cohen quoted Trump saying, "This is going to be one heck of a ride in D.C."
Prosecutors are out to show the reimbursements Cohen said Trump authorized were improperly and falsely characterized as legal expenses. Cohen's recollections of the things Trump said are powerful evidence. He's the only witness that can deliver it. And while there are call logs to back him up, for the most part, George, the jury is left to take Cohen at his word, and the defense is waiting to test his composure and credibility. George.
Katersky, thanks. Explaining our chief Washington correspondent, John Carl. Rachel Scott, who is covering the Trump campaign. John, you were in the courtroom yesterday. What was it like?
Fascinating dynamic. First of all, Michael Cohen was calm. He was humble. Not the Michael Cohen we've come to know. No, not the combative one. Almost pathetic at times when he talked about the ways Donald Trump had treated him. Michael Cohen is a guy that for a decade or so really derived his sense of self-worth by how Donald Trump treated him. Praise from Donald Trump is what he craved so much. So it was fascinating in that courtroom to watch Donald Trump give Michael Cohen the silent treatment. He didn't acknowledge him at all. They were just feet apart, George, especially during the breaks.
His eyes for much of the day.
He was literally, and I don't think he was sleeping, he was closing his eyes to give Michael Cohen the sense, I don't give a damn that you are up there. I don't give a damn anything you have to say. I'm not going to acknowledge your presence. It was almost like a way of psychological warfare with Cohen.
Cross-examination could start later today, going to be brutal.
It is, because look, first of all, the defense is going to want to see that combative Michael Cohen. They're going to want to show not only that he has credibility problems, but that he has an agenda, that he is out to get Donald Trump. And guess what? He is out to get Donald Trump. Look for them to introduce as evidence some of the videos that Michael Cohen has made recently, even during this trial, where he taunts Donald Trump when he says things like, yeah, Trump 2024, 20 to 24 years in prison, and makes obscene gestures. Look for them to try to play those videos in the courtroom to show the jury that Michael Cohen is out to get Donald Trump.
Okay, Rachel Scott, another strange thing going on in the courtroom. You've got VP hopefuls for Donald Trump basically auditioning for the job in that courtroom.
Yeah, consider this the new vetting process. I don't think we've ever seen the outside of a courthouse become the new testing ground for possible running mates, but that is exactly what is happening. We are seeing Republican allies to Trump, possible VP contenders, line up to essentially do what Donald Trump can't, and that is attack the witnesses, attack Michael Cohen, even attack the judge and the judge's family. We know that Donald Trump is barred from doing that under this gag order. So yesterday we saw Senator J.D. Vance, who used to be a critic of Donald Trump. Well, now he's one of his staunchest supporters and defenders. Today we're going to see former rivals Vivek Ramaswamy and also North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum. They will be outside the courthouse, and later today there'll be a fundraiser with other VP hopefuls, Senators Tim Scott and Marco Rubio. George.
So strange. Okay, Rachel Scott, John Carl, thanks very much.